Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. My name is FPL Meerkat and today I've got my Game Week 17 review and my Game Week 18 team selection for you guys. It was a nice set of fixtures to be back into the Premier League season. Some very big scores from a lot of players this week. So let's dive straight into how the team did for Game Week 17. So here is the Game Week 17 team and it did pretty well, if I'm going to be honest. 84 points, I was very happy with that score. 966 points overall now. But it gave me a very, very slight green arrow of only about 20k places, that is. I'm still above 1.3 million. Yeah, it was a really nice score, but I guess a lot of other people had really nice scores, and I had a fair few blanks in the team. So let's run through by the positions. Ariza Balaga, Kepa there, getting 9 points, a massive performance from him. Really nice considering as Reece James actually went off injured before getting a clean sheet. So it was a really nice bit of variance there for me, finally on the fortuitous side of things. Getting 9 points there, really solid performance. Very happy to have him in the team, and now he's back from injury and he's hopefully solidified his starting place in that Chelsea defence. Trippier there getting 12 points, absolute monster yet again. You just cannot go without Trippier. Everyone who got rid of him, I respect the attempt to go different, but I just don't think it's worth going against the likes of Trippier. He just keeps racking up points. He keeps getting 1 assist, full bonus points. He is so good at just raking in points for very little during the game. Only 1 assist, you'd be like, wow, that doesn't really feel like 12 points, but Trippier always seems to pull out of the bag every time. Ben White getting 2 points there, annoyed that Arsenal lost their clean sheet. They didn't really deserve to. Just a penalty that they happened to concede. They didn't really concede many chances. West Ham didn't really trouble them at all. But yeah, still lost the clean sheet. Bit annoying there. Also annoying considering as Man United, I was looking at Luke Shaw instead of White. Did actually manage to keep a clean sheet. So yeah, that was a little annoying. Akanji getting 2 points, really happy he got the start. I was saying it to a lot of people on Twitter that I do believe that he is nailed in that Man City team. The same nailed as Cancelo was, and Cancelo happened to get benched. People think Cancelo is nailed, but let's be honest, I don't think anyone really in that Man City defence is nailed apart from Ederson. So yeah, I do anticipate Akanji might miss one of the upcoming games. I'm just going to hope it's not one of the double game week games. And it was a little bit painful considering they lost the clean sheet anyway. So I didn't really gain many points over people who had Cancelo instead because, well, I only got 2 points and Cancelo got 1. So yeah, it wasn't a massive gain there. Patterson came into the starting lineup for Wilson, who was completely absent in Game Week 17. Not quite sure why. I think Eddie Howe said he was ill, clearly drank too much the night before. But yeah, that's a little bit of a concern as well, that he had an illness that was so bad it kept him out entirely. He wasn't even on the bench. So yeah, basically my transfer moves for Game Week 18 will completely depend on how Wilson is feeling, essentially. Yeah, Patterson came into the lineup with 0 points there. Really annoying. Lost the clean sheet to Wolves and then got a yellow card. Maybe I should have put some more money on the bench in hindsight. A little bit risky of me, but to be honest, everyone else started, and I think most of my players there are pretty nailed starters. Wilson is as well, and it's just that kind of information you can't see coming. So maybe I should have just got someone good on the bench just for that every so often. That kind of stuff happens in FPL. Andreas there getting 3 points. He was very unlucky not to come away with any returns. Mitrovic getting all of the returns. He came very close with a couple shots. He looked really dangerous from set pieces. Very happy to have him in the team and very happy to be starting him in the next 2 games. Marcus Rashford up next. He's not really a differential on FPL Twitter, that is for sure, but his ownership is still relatively low, and what a haul he had. 14 points, getting a goal, assist, and 3 bonus points. Really happy with the returns there. Actually the highest returner in my team. Yeah, really happy with Rashford. He's going absolutely nowhere. Glad I went with him. And Mohamed Salah, very glad I kept onto him. 12 points. Could have had a lot more, to be honest. Liverpool absolutely ran riot against Aston Villa, and now they've signed Cody Gakpo, so that will only strengthen their attack. Yeah, really happy to own Liverpool players now. They definitely look back to their best. I know it was only a game against Aston Villa, but yeah, they do have a good set of fixtures and I expect them to score a lot of goals in the upcoming games. Kevin De Bruyne was a little bit disappointing. Again, he's one of those players that you're not really that surprised when he blanks, but like he just creates so many chances. He's so unlucky not to get more. If only he had better finishers in the side. Even though Haaland is probably one of the best finishers in the league. But it seemed every single time it was a De Bruyne pass to him, he fluffed the shot. So, yeah, a little annoying that he came away with no points there. I think if he got any returns, he would have been on for bonus. So, yeah, a really good performance from him, but just not in the points. I will probably keep on to him due to Man City's upcoming double, but if I'm going to free up funds from the midfield, it will probably be him to go, as I'm very happy with Salah and Rashford. Haaland next, inevitable. I mean, both of his goals were... actually, no, his second goal was pretty well taken, but he could have scored about 5. He had probably the same amount of chances that Núñez did, but the difference is that Haaland still actually finished 2 of them, but he could have had about 5 in that game. But yeah, 2 returns. There's no point going against Haaland for the captaincy. I know that other players... I'm considering Salah next game week, but watching the Man City games when you haven't got Haaland captained is an absolute nightmare, and I really enjoy watching the games, so there's no point going against him, in my opinion. I'm just going to keep captaining Haaland so I can just relax and enjoy the games. And if Salah gets points, then I'm happy as well. I'd much rather, Haaland blank and Salah Hall, and I've got him captained, than I captain Salah, he blanks and Haaland Halls, because then that's just horrendous for me. And then Darwin Núñez, the talk of the town, honestly, this game week. What an incredible performance from him, but not for the right reasons. He's incredibly good at creating chances, isn't he? He's very good at running past the defences, cutting inside, getting a shot off. But his shooting is terrible, isn't it? He's another Timo Werner, isn't he? He gets so many chances and he just keeps missing them. I'm hoping that he comes to, he comes to score a lot more goals. He has scored quite a few points this season already, and now he's got some, he's got some competition in the forward line a lot more now. When Jota comes back, Diaz comes back, and now of course Gakpo. And maybe Firmino fits into that, and maybe Carvalho as well. So a bit unsure about Darwin's minutes. I will definitely be keeping him for the next game, but I'm definitely considering getting rid of him, as I'm not too sure how sure his minutes are, whereas Salah is nailed on that right-hand side. All the other attackers for Liverpool play on the left or up front. So yeah, bit wavy on him. And then looking at the bench, no points really there. Somerville was fit, but he didn't actually start. I guess he wasn't fit enough to start. I'm hoping he'll come into the lineup in the next few game weeks. Ward, I was never going to play. And Bueno actually got subbed before half time. He would have been on 2 points if he'd reached that. If he'd reached the 60th minute. Sorry, he was subbed before the 60th minute at half time. But yeah, that's a little concerning. And yeah, I would probably like to upgrade the bench in some way. I do have 2 starting defenders on the bench, which is nice, but maybe upgrading that other midfielder spot. I would have really liked to have Almiron in the team, who yet again returned. And if I'm getting rid of Wilson, I'll definitely still want a Newcastle attacker in the team. I'll be eagerly awaiting to see what they do in the transfer window as well. There's a lot of talk about James Maddison signing for Newcastle. I think he'd be an amazing FPL pick if that ends up happening. But yeah, happy about game week 17. Let's have a look at how game week 18 is lining up. So here is the game week 18 team as it stands. Currently on a 4-3-3, nothing in the bank, and I've got 1 free transfer to use. I think my transfers, I'm not going to overthink it this week. I think it's going to be, if we get any inkling about Wilson being fit, I'm going to keep him. I'm going to roll the transfer. So I've got 2 free transfers for next week. I think that'll be really useful. Just so that we've got a bit more information about the doubles, because I'm honestly a bit confused about it myself. I just know that City have a double coming up. I think Arsenal have a double. Spurs and Fulham and Chelsea. Did I say Chelsea? I think Chelsea and Fulham have got their one next week after game week 18. Although that is actually quite, I think that's quite a while away. Actually, it's quite a quick turnaround for this one. But the next game week is actually quite a bit in the future. And that will pretty much be it for my transfers. I think I'll just have to go without Almiron once again. I think I would probably move Wilson onto Mitrovic anyway in game week 19. So I'm wondering maybe I should just do it now, just to get Mitrovic's really nice fixture against Southampton, and then obviously the double to potentially captain him. I will say, though, there are definitely some other picks I'm liking the look of. I'm liking the look of Trent and Robertson. Super differential at the moment. I know Liverpool keep leaking goals, but their attacking threat is amazing. They really did look back to their best in that Aston Villa game, so I'll be hoping that they continue that good form. And hoping they get some clean sheets somewhere. They do keep leaking goals, and against Aston Villa they conceded a lot of chances, but they're definitely on my watch list. In terms of other picks I'm thinking about, Martial obviously looked really good. Kai Havertz is one that I'm definitely going to be monitoring because he's a real differential at the moment, and I think he's probably the only one of that front three for Chelsea that is definitely nailed. Let me know what you think about that, but maybe Sterling as well. But I really like Havertz's chances in playing a lot of games, considering he scored a hat-trick in a friendly before the game's return, and then he got a goal and assist. I just think he's a really nice differential pick. But to be honest, I might not overthink it and just go for Mitrovic. He looked really, really good last week. A lot of people didn't go for him. I've got to be honest, he wasn't actually in my thoughts, so I was quite glad that he was ruled out for this for game week 17. So a lot of people transferred him out, and then he went and hauled. So not a lot of people had him. But now everyone's looking at him. And to be honest, I'm only really looking at him because Wilson's out. Wilson was my placeholder to get Mitrovic in 19, but I might have to pull the trigger early and get in Mitrovic for game week 18 for the fixture against Southampton. But yeah, happy about playing Andreas. Somerville, I'm hoping, can do something off the bench. The bench is very, very weak this week, so I'm hoping that Akanji starts once again. I'm not really too worried about anyone else in terms of starts. Wilson and Akanji are probably the only ones I've got slight doubts about. I think Akanji will start again. I know there's a lot of options for City, but I think Pep really likes Akanji, so I think he will continue to play. If he does play game week 18, I'll then have the same concern about the double game week. About game week 19. They've got a double in game week 20, haven't they? So I might consider other options there, but he's just a really cheap insight into the Man City defence. But if they're going to keep conceding goals anyway, maybe I should look elsewhere. Not because Man City's defence is bad, but because they just seem to leak a chance, and teams seem to be very clinical against Man City. I think they have to be because they get so little chances, and yet they just keep scoring them. I mean, it's funny to say that Man City and Liverpool both conceded one goal this week. If you watch both the games, the amount of chances from either team is incredibly different. Aston Villa had so many chances. I think Leeds had about 3 against Man City. I'm struggling to remember. Oh, their goal was from a corner, wasn't it? Yeah, it came from absolutely nothing. They did start to pile on the chances near the end, though. But yeah, I'm definitely liking spending less in defence to upgrade the attack, although the freemium is definitely limiting the amount that I can do in the midfield. It was very bad for me not to have any Arsenal attackers with Nketiah, Ødegaard, Saka and Martinelli all returning for Arsenal. I think the issue there is just I feel like they're going to share the returns a lot because even though they all return pretty highly, the likes of Rashford still got more points because I feel like he's more involved in their attack. I do really like the look of Ødegaard as a bit of a differential to the the usual Saka and Martinelli picks. But yeah, they're definitely people that I'm going to be monitoring as well. But in terms of my game week 18 moves, it'll probably be Wilson for Mitrovic. If we get confirmation that Wilson is starting, I think I will keep him. But I think that's unlikely that we'll get any kind of solid confirmation. It will only be if that's the case. If we don't get any confirmation, I'm going to go for Mitrovic and just not overthink it. But yeah, let's have a look at who did the best in the mini league this week. So this was the top score in the mini league this week, Game of Stones, with 104 points. Someone in the mini league actually getting above 100 points, which was pretty insane there. A game week rank of 61k as well. Really, really nice. The big difference in the team being Mitrovic. He had Mitrovic in the team, getting that 15-point score. Absolute haul. He was so involved in everything that Fulham were doing. I know one of his goals, he just got a little knock on it to get it into the net, but he was still incredibly involved in the game. The only blank in the front line actually being Darwin Núñez, who had, I think, the most chances out of anyone there. But yeah, Salah, Rashford, Martinelli, Almiron. It's quite a template team, but to be honest, it's worked very well because you've covered every single player that did like really, really well, that was highly owned. So it's a huge green arrow for you, I imagine. Obviously, James getting injured there is not great. That will probably be where the transfers made, if any at all. And Cancelo being benched. I don't think people should be worried about Cancelo's minutes. I think he was just purely given a little bit of a rest. He hasn't had one this whole season. So yeah, I think he's pretty much nailed from this point onwards. I don't think you should be looking to transfer out Cancelo unless you're looking to free up funds, which is what I did going for a Kanji. But yeah, I think Cancelo, he looked very attacking as well. If you watch the Man City game, he only played about 20 minutes, but there were 2 opportunities he had where he was running straight through on goal. I think they brought it back for a foul or offside or something like that, but he was very, very advanced in the game. So yeah, I think he's still a great pick and a really solid bench as well for you there with White, Andreas and Ward. And obviously Arrizabalaga and Trippier getting massive scores in the defence. So yeah, an absolutely huge score for you there, Aidan. Really well done. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content on this channel. Are you glad to see the team selection videos back? And how did you do this game week? Are you in a situation like me where you got a really high score, but your rank didn't really rise that much? Because yeah, it kind of sucks that 84 was probably, I think it's my second highest score this year, and yet the green arrow was very minimal. I guess that's what happens when you have a lot of template players and your differentials blank. So yeah, not much of a rank rise for me, but I'm really enjoying the watching the Premier League to be. I'm really enjoying the Premier League being back, and I'll see you guys in the next FPL video.